while this is also fresh on my mind, I wanted to come on and say, if you wake up early, you can hear God. If you wake up early and listen and be still, you can hear your spirit shining through, and it'll tell you exactly what to do. And this morning, I've been in this mood of like really trying to get back to what I know to be true about like health and wellness and spirituality. And this morning I was just, I woke up at a very early time, and like my spirit just propelled me forward. It said you're gonna make some green juice, which I did. It said you need to tell your story about overeating and like being a foodie, or under disguise of as a foodie. And I'm like, yeah, I think it's time to tell that story, because I've been going through a lot. Like, I've always been somebody who has loved food. Like, I've never really been a picky eater or anything. Like, I'm always willing to try something once. And growing up, like, there was literally nothing you couldn't get me to eat. Like, I would literally eat it. As long as it tastes good, I was okay. Which made my transition into going vegan very easy, because as long as the food tastes good, it was okay. But at the start of my veganism, I was just already so full with like spiritual knowledge and information that like I came into it feeling like I didn't need to eat. At the same time, I was learning a new thing called veganism, so I would still like find recipes and eat, but at the same time, like I balanced it out with like fasting and like just in my spiritual bag, you know what I mean? Like knowledge, reading books. Like I did not need that much food. And this is a time that I always equate to the best feeling I've ever experienced in my life. Like I really felt whole and complete because I wasn't eating a whole lot, but at the same time when I did eat, I had this deep appreciation for the foods that I was eating. Now, fast forward 2023, there's plant-based meats out. There is a lot of ads being ran to show all this food porn, and you fall victim to that. You fall victim into feeling like, okay, let me try that. Let me go make this new recipe. Let me see what that's about. And it kind of brought me back to where I was prior to becoming vegan, which was just a consumer of food more than like an appreciator of food, if that makes sense. Hi, Sage. You want to come? You want to? Okay. But yeah, I was talking about being an appreciator of food. Basically somebody who's just grateful for the food that they have, and they give reverence to the food that they eat every time they eat. I used to do that. I used to pray over my food, and like, because I had gone without, I fasted a lot. Like in the beginning of my veganism, I literally fasted a lot, like on water, on smoothies, herbs. Like I literally just wasn't in the mindset that I needed to eat all the time. And now, like, that has switched. Basically, I feel like I need to eat all the time to be sustained, and that really wasn't the case for me when I first went vegan, because I was being filled with something else called spirituality and like knowledge and information. That was like my hobby or whatever. Learning was a hobby for me, so it took away from me feeling like I needed to eat all the time. Go see Naomi. No! Okay, alright. But yeah, then the, as Tabitha Brown would say, that greedy spirit took over again that I used to have as a child and growing up, or I used food basically to fill voids in my life or feel the love that I didn't receive from the people around me. I would just eat because that was like a comfort for me. And my children are coming in to join us on this talk. I just wanted to get like personal with y'all for a second. So I hope I still can like stand in this truth while they're sitting around. Naomi, I need you to go close that that door though, because we don't want flies and stuff to come in. Huh? Okay, we don't want no more to go in there. But yeah, that greedy spirit starts to kick back in. It's kicking in. And if I don't stop myself and see that this is just like a temptation or something for me to learn, it could be detrimental. Oh no. No, not right now, Mommy. I'm really trying to stop breastfeeding, but she won't allow me to. My lips a little dry. I literally just woke up and made myself this green juice and just came out here, set up this whole little table and came out here to sit outside because I literally was just told to do that. So that's what I did. But yeah, so basically the greedy spirit has kicked back in, and I'm trying to overcome that because I don't want to be a subject to anything. And when I first went vegan, I literally, because I had the spiritual journey and because I had people around me that raised my vibration and lifted me up, and that was the energy I was running off of more than food. And I see how people can be breatharians and, you know, like just living in that way. When you're fully in tune with yourself, you don't need to eat. It's only when you lack things that you feel like, oh, I gotta add more value to myself. I gotta consume. And it just means you're not full in your spirit. And that's the gap that I feel like I'm here to do for the world, because like health and wellness has always been like something I'm good at talking about forever. Like I can literally talk about health and wellness, spirituality, like at the drop of a dime. I know what to say on those subjects. And that's why I know that like my spirit is testing me in this way to see like, will you let these things consume you? Will you use your devices and allow them to overtake you? But me, I'm always gonna see the bigger picture. I mean, you can go so far down a rabbit hole before you gotta like snap yourself out of it. And I have gone down that rabbit hole for a few years now. And I'm just finally realizing like you need to snap out of this, Sanaya. Bookie, can you go give me some lip chat? The shea butter from downstairs. Can you please go get the thing of shea butter? The little thing that I made.
Hold this down so it doesn't blow away.
Okay, I won't let it blow away. But just give me the little thing of shea butter, okay? Because the sister's lips is chapped. Okay, and that's even how I know I'm off key, because I don't have dry lips. Once your skin and stuff get to drying out, you know you're dry in your spirit, okay? And on your water content, but it's really your spirit first that is like saying you need something, you need nourishment, you need to listen and be still. Last night, I like stayed up with my daughter. We did a little stretch and yoga, and then we like, I was trying to teach her how to draw a flower. And that really put me like back into a meditative state. Like for these few days, I've really been trying to like get back on my like fruit and kale salads and just back in my nourishment bag, okay? Period, point blank. Like I'm just trying to nourish myself. I don't want to be a victim to the food, because regardless if people think so or not, you are a slave to it. Because like look at what the social media is pushing. Social media literally push all the 7 deadly sins. Gluttony, I don't know them all off the top of my head, but just like over-sexuality, vanity, they push all of that in the media. I'm gonna drop the little 7 deadly sins in my comments or something, or because I do know them, but right now they're not clicking in my head. Social media is there to push all the 7 deadly sins, and we buy into it all the time. How can we not? The food looks so good. You know what I mean? Like, the crab broils look so good. and it's like telling you to consume and consume more. Don't listen. Don't have a moment to yourself. Don't go out into the garden and think. Just eat. Put your makeup on. Do this, do that. It's all about consumption. It's all about trying to feed you into submission with something that could be detrimental to you in the future. And it's not to say, can you get out my video, girl? Thank you. Naomi is a star, okay, y'all? She likes to steal my shows all the time.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Naomi likes the spotlight. But that's okay. That's a good thing. That's who you are, okay? You're a star. But right now, this is Mommy's show, okay?
I wasn't even in it.
It's okay.
Only this was.
And Sage is a wiggler, okay? This is also why
She's a wiggle worm.
Wiggle worm. That's a good word. Yeah, because she likes to wiggle too much. This is why I don't want to breastfeed her no more, because she just doesn't care about how I feel about anything.
And Mommy has an owie.
Yeah, I try to tell her, like, ouch, my boobs hurt. That don't stop her from wiggling and turning and twisting every which way with my nipple in her mouth. So, yeah. And another thing of what made me realize, like, I was just deficient in nourishing myself and not paying myself any attention, because, you know, when I breastfed Naomi, I just had so much milk. I had so much milk. And with Sage, I'm, like, barely ever full. Like, my boobs don't get as full as they once did, and that tells me you're deficient, you're not drinking enough water, you're not paying attention to what you need. Like, your body is screaming for you to just stop for a second and listen to it and give it what it needs, which is nourishment. Spiritual nourishment is the first step, first and foremost. You have to be still in order to hear what you need to do. And that's how I woke up this morning. I woke up feeling like, okay, you got to do X, Y, and Z today. These are the things that you got to get marked off your list. Even making this video for me is just like, when you have that inspired action, you have to take it. I'm that type of person. Like, if I have inspired action, I have to act on it right away or I'll lose it. I'm a manifester, so I don't have that much energy all day. If you know your human design, we could talk about it. Manifestors don't have energy all day. We have inspired actions, little bursts of inspired energy that we have to use right away. And that's what I have this morning. And that's why I'm making this video for y'all, because this is something I've been wanting to talk about anyway. I'm also just working on being my authentic self and, like, showing up in a way that is, like, not fabricated to look a certain way for the rest of the world. Like, that's why I stopped doing YouTube for a while, because it was like when I would turn the camera on, it felt like I had to perform. And I don't want to freaking perform for nobody, because I'm not a fake person, and I don't want to be a fake person. I don't want to come off that way. You'll know somebody who's not performing. Like, these are the people I equate to not performing. Like Tabitha Brown. She got famous, and the world loved her because she was being her truest self. Keith, he was literally being his truest self as he rates these foods that you know what I mean? Like, he's being his truest self. He's not folding for anybody, for the camera, for the show. So sometimes you're not being authentic. You may have something to offer to the world, but you're not being your authentic self when the cameras are rolling. And I don't want to portray that to the world. Like, sometimes I'm very mean. Like, I really am. Or it's not mean, it's just I am going to tell you what you need to know. And I'm not going to, like, I used to be very like, I'm going to sugarcoat this so your feelings don't get hurt. Now it's like, it is what it is, even if you don't like it. And I'm sorry if it comes off mean, and I will even still apologize, because I'm just not, like, a person that wants to make anybody feel bad. But at the same time, like, the truth is the truth. And, like, as a manifester, I'm here to inform you of that. Of whatever I need to inform you. Go blow your nose, ma'am. Thank you. Love you. Go blow your nose. But yeah, I just know what I'm here to do now. And I'm here to inform you of the truth, regardless of if it hurts or not hurts. and I'm here to inform myself. Like, I've always been like the type of person, like, I'll tell myself about myself before anybody else could do it. Because I'm just that way. Like, I'm not trying to lie or carry on this. I'm not trying to make the world perceive me as a certain way. Like, this is what it is. I'm an overeater right now in my life, and I need to change that in order to get to my next level, because the more I eat, the more I can't hear what I need to hear. I'm a very spiritual person. I'm very tuned in, tapped in, turned on. And I know that I am, because literally when I use my voice to inform people of anything, or like of my needs, I get it. I get everything that I need when I'm in that tuned in, tapped in, turned on place. If this is all making sense to you. But yeah, I just wanted to jump on and make this video because, like, I really want to start speaking my truth and giving the world a piece of who I am, because I feel like I've done a lot of selling. Push it from the side of the door. Hi, Sanaya. Good morning. I forgot what I was about to say. I'm very short-minded these days too, like absent-minded. I've always had my thoughts in order. And this is how I know I'm out of tune a little bit, because I get like really absent-minded. I'll forget what I'm about to say literally in 5 seconds. And that just tells me I'm not in alignment, and I have a blockage. And I talk a little bit slower than I used to. These are just things that I realize about myself. So I hope you're evaluating who you are and what's going on in your life, so you can actually elevate yourself to the next level, because that's what we're here to do first and foremost. I really wanted to remember what I was thinking before she said, hi, what's your name? But I cannot remember. But yeah, when you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, like, you can hear what you need to do. And I want to be my authentic self. I don't want to lie or sell people a dream about who I am. I was going to say along the lines, selling. I feel like I've been just selling myself to people, but not really selling me. I'm just selling my products and like hoping that somebody buys them, but not really telling why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. And that's kind of what I want to do. I want to build that community to where you know where Sanaya is coming from, why she is the way she is. And I'll just tell you like this. I feel like health and wellness and spirituality have always been a thing for me in my life. I feel like I was trying to sell myself, sell my products to the world without really telling why I was selling them. And I come from a place where, like, I was just an overconsumer of food my whole life. Like, I've used that as like to fill this void in my emotional space, because I really didn't get much attention in my family. I really didn't. I was the youngest child. My granny loved me dearly, but you know, like with my family, everybody's older than me, so it's just like I fade into the background. I always did that anyway, because I felt like I was like the black sheep of my family too, and nobody really understood me, but nobody also tried to even understand me because I was the youngest child. So you just kind of fade in the background and you don't really receive a lot of attention. So I used food to like cover up or fill myself up with some type of love, because you know, every food is associated with like some type of emotional need that you need. It's all energetic before it is like a physical thing. Can you please, Sage? Can you please? Yeah, so on a energy level, I was using food to basically fill myself up, fill a void. And you know, when I first went vegan, I kind of conquered that. And then we have the same thing showing up, because I really never learned how to not do that. It was just who I was around at the time was like helping me cope in a different way other than just eating all the time. I had people to talk to. I just had people to talk to, people to grow with and learn with. And when you're spiritually, when you have something other than your device, like people, family, friends, they take up majority of your time, so you don't need to overeat. And I think the way that we live today is very backwards because we don't think like we need people when we actually do. We need a community. Everybody has a job to do in the community, and if you're not a part of the community or you don't have a community, you kind of just fade into the background. You do your own thing and you go into the abyss of whatever it is your device is, because first of all, you have nobody calling you out on your crap that you're doing, and you just get to sit in your little dark space and consume and overconsume, and nobody's there to check you or to tell you, hey, maybe you should go outside today. Maybe you shouldn't eat at midnight or whatever the hell. Whatever your device is, maybe you shouldn't be overconsuming that thing because it's doing X, Y, and Z to you. And you're depressed all the time because you feel like you don't have anybody, but I mean, there's somebody out here for everybody. There's people out here for everybody, you know, and I used to do that too. I used to just be in my own little space, own little corner, feeling like I didn't need nobody because first of all, I wasn't really well connected in my family as I would have liked to be. I mean, they were always around, but like nobody was getting to know me, for the most part. So it was just like I would just be by myself. And when you're always by yourself, a lot of negative thoughts and things start to creep in, and you don't have anybody there to check you or pull you out of that. And when I had this spiritual community that I was a part of, it was just always go. You got work to do. Like, you got stuff that you need to be doing other than eating and sitting around and wallowing in whatever your sadness is. It's like, we need you over here. We need you to provide these gifts that you're so good at. Fill yourself up with community. Stay away from over consuming anything. Figure out who you are authentically and what you have to offer to the community. Or your community don't even have to be like a place where you go and be around a bunch of people. Your community, first and foremost, is your home and your family at home. So figure out who you are in your home space and what you bring to the table and offer it to them, and give yourself to it. Because regardless, we have work to do. And we can't sit around and be depressed and go into these dark little spaces and shrink ourselves and not show the world who we are because we've put all these limitations upon ourselves. We literally have to rise from that. And that's what I'm trying to do by just opening up about my story and what I've gone through. And I hope we can have more of these conversations in the future, because I have a lot. I am an informer for sure. Like, I literally get exhausted from talking so much but that's literally what I'm here to do. I'm here to inform. Oh yeah. My daughter's like, don't forget your throat hurts when you talk. It does. And it's because I'm always talking. And like, I'm currently in therapy, and I feel like I don't need therapy. I really don't need therapy because I already talk so much. And I talk to 5,000 people, and by the time I get back to my therapist, it's just like already worked out. Like, what I need to do is movement. I'm like transitioning from thinking I need talk therapy to movement therapy. That's more so what I need. I need to move my energy around. But yeah, I'm gonna let this video go because it's like just a rant at this point. And I hope you gather something from it. Literally stay away from your devices, or learn how to, I'm not saying don't eat, but don't let things control you, basically. Because once you lose control, something else is taking over, and it's not going to benefit you. You can eat and love food, but just know you're in control of that thing. You were given dominion over this earth and all the things on this planet, not the other way around. Don't let things use you. Take control of your life. And with that, I'll talk to you in another video. Peace.